Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau, two of the most popular YouTubers from the 2010s, are here to say that the toxic gossip train is still alive and well because they are doing an exposé on all of the YouTuber drama. From Shane Dawson to David Dobrik to Colleen Ballinger, these two were not afraid to share their reaction and their side of the story of the controversy. So sit back and keep watching until the end of the video because Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau address everything. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau react to controversies and the Colleen Ballinger situation. Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau were some of those YouTubers you either hated or loved just because of how much controversy they were constantly involved in. But recently, the two seem to have matured and belong to the very few canceled YouTubers who survived and continue to have a career on the internet. A few days ago, the two reunited in their respective podcasts, where they talked about some of the controversies they have witnessed or were involved in throughout their social media careers. Perhaps the hottest and latest controversy they talked about in Trisha's podcast, Just Trish, is the Colleen Ballinger situation that Trisha was involved in, but as a victim. The two were friends and even shared a podcast called Oversharing with Colleen Ballinger and Trisha Paytas. Still, unbeknownst to Trisha, Colleen was sending Trisha's nudes to a group chat full of minors without her consent. And even if Trisha consented to use her nudes, who would send that to minors just to ridicule another person? And we know how that played out after Colleen's viral ukulele apology video. Trisha started talking about the situation on her podcast by saying, "Here's the thing, I've tried having girlfriends, and I tried this summer and it failed miserably. She just sent my nudes and said I look like a fat pig." And in reply, Tana Mongeau was ready to let the public know what she thought about the situation. And she had some pretty intense opinions. Unfiltered, Tana goes, "Yeah, her so, mother, hard Trisha. And I know, you sit there, you look pretty, you be nice. I have not been that angry at an influencer or a female influencer or someone I knew or someone I even kind of thought I knew in so long." And Trisha acknowledged the absurdity of it all and her regret over starting a business venture with Colleen. Trisha said, "How was I so blinded? Why did we start a podcast together when she was like, hated me? We built the set. I bought the costumes. I did the glams." And given that Colleen and Trisha had a good relationship, Tana expressed how that made the act even more evil. People make mistakes, people gossip, but that is so beyond that. You're just a terrible person, and at your prehistoric age, you bitch. The people who used to watch these two back in 2017 probably never imagined the day would come when they were talking about the controversy and not being involved in it. Aside from Colleen, another controversial YouTuber was talked about in Trisha Paytas' podcast, Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson was quite literally the king of controversies in the YouTuber world. From blackface allegations to making jokes about his cat, Shane was constantly all up in drama. Although it seems like this is not the case now, Shane, Tana, and Trisha were friends at some point in their lives. So, Trisha and Tana talk about their relationship with Shane Dawson. Trisha recalls the beginning of her YouTube career and how Shane taught her how to make money using the platform. On the other hand, this is what Tana has to say when asked if she was still in contact with the controversial YouTuber. "I wanted to have him on Canceled," Tana's podcast. "I would have him on Canceled, but I think he's just scared." The last conversation I had with him was a really, really good one, a really meaningful one. We both cried and talked a lot of shit out. It felt like the closing of a really big chapter of my life. I'm happy for him. Going by that, it seems like Shane Dawson has chosen to live away from the limelight. And even if he doesn't come back to doing social media, he's already set for life with the amount of YouTube money he earned at the height of his career. They also briefly talked about another hashtag canceled YouTuber while talking about Shane, David Dobrik. David Dobrik was part of the Vlog Squad and one of those YouTubers who constantly relies on shock value to go viral. In the podcast, Trisha and Tana talk about how they don't think that Shane is an inherently bad person, unlike Dobrik, who is. Although they didn't get into too much detail about this, it's clear in how the two talked about him and their past feud with him that they're not very fond of the guy. Although both Trisha and Tana have steered away from creating controversy online recently, they were once labeled and are probably still seen as problematic influencers. Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau past controversies. After giving birth and the Colleen Ballinger situation, many people have started warming up to Trisha, or at the very least, most have neutral opinions about her. But she was once one of the most problematic people on the internet because she was deliberately doing questionable things on camera and was a self-proclaimed troll. "I never cared about being rich or anything. Still don't," they said. "I just have this constant need for attention. Maybe that's a bad thing, maybe not, but it's how I thrive." So when she came out as transgender a few years ago, many people called her out on it because she was clearly doing it for attention, and it just seemed distasteful for the public. It was making light of the topic. She was also often criticized because of her senseless feuds with other YouTube stars, and there was even a time when she publicly outed a person they were in a relationship with. Trisha was also often seen as absurd because of the very out-of-pocket things she would say, like when she said that she identifies as a chicken nugget. Trisha said, "When you feel like a chicken nugget, you feel like not delicious."
When you feel like a chicken nugget, you feel like not delicious.
Well, you feel delicious, but you also feel like freed and fake on the inside. I'm pink goop, and now I'm a chicken nugget.
And I started out with pink goop, and now I'm a chicken nugget.
On the other hand, Tana Mongeau was quite a controversial figure during the height of her career. The biggest scandal that Tana is probably known for would be TanaCon, which is an incident that, looking back now, shouldn't have been blamed solely on her. On the recent canceled podcast episode, she talked about how she was 19 when TanaCon happened, and she never wanted people to get sunburned because of her. And she thanked Shane Dawson for doing a documentary about it because she didn't have bad intentions. Tana said, "I was grateful for the documentary, though. It's shown a lot of light on it, not being like, I feel like a lot of people thought I was like diabolically planning it by myself." Another controversy that she faced back then was the usage of the N-word, which has become a universal experience for almost all white social media influencers, so there's no surprise in that. The funniest thing about this, though, was that it would have never been brought up if she didn't call out fellow YouTuber iDubbbz for doing the same thing. She was also criticized for having a pseudo-relationship with another YouTuber, Jake Paul, because everyone thought the two were doing it for clout. Now, Tana is 25, and she seems to have matured past that phase in her life. The public's perception still remains mixed towards her, but at the very least, she was able to keep her career going, unlike some of her other soccer-canceled peers. What do you feel about Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau? What did you think of their exposé on all of the YouTuber drama? What do you think about all of these problematic and canceled YouTubers? I would love to know your thoughts and join the conversation down below.